You worked for this life, every bit of it. You built it from nothing. And yet one morning you wake up and realize it doesn't feel like home anymore, not because you failed, but because you've grown. And the life that once fit you perfectly now feels too small. It starts quietly. You don't even notice it at first. The hobbies that once made you come alive start to feel routine. The conversations that used to light you up feel surface level now. You start craving silence, depth, meaning, but you don't know why. You tell yourself it's just stress or a phase. You try to reignite the old fire, but something inside knows the truth. That fire has already burned through what it was meant to. See, we built lives based on who we were, not who we're becoming. And when that evolution happens, when you start expanding, questioning, awakening, the life you built from your past self starts to feel like someone else's dream. You look around and realize the routines that once made you feel safe now make you feel stuck. The same friends, the same patterns, the same goals. They no longer reflect who you are now. It's not boredom, it's growth. Your soul is ready for a new chapter, and your old life can't contain the person you're becoming. So if you feel restless, unfulfilled, or detached, it's not a breakdown. It's the beginning of your breakthrough. Comfort feels safe, predictable, familiar. It's the reason you stay where your soul no longer belongs, because comfort tricks you. It whispers, "You're fine here," but deep down, you know you're not. You've mastered your current life. Every habit, every routine, every version of yourself that fits inside it. But growth doesn't live in mastery. It lives in the unknown. And staying too long in comfort turns peace into numbness. You've stopped asking questions, stopped dreaming big. Because the moment you do, that little voice inside you whispers, what if you ruin everything you worked for? But what if you don't? What if you evolve into something greater than everything you built? The truth is, the life you're afraid to lose might be the very thing holding you back from the one you're meant to live. Comfort will always tell you to settle, but your soul will always ask for more. And when that voice gets louder, it's not chaos, it's calling. We spend years becoming what the world rewards: the perfect professional, the perfect parent, the perfect partner. You wear every label like armor until one day it stops feeling like protection and starts feeling like a prison. Who are you beneath the achievements? Beneath the roles, the expectations, the stories others wrote for you? It's easy to confuse identity with purpose. But the truth is, purpose changes, and so do you. Outgrowing your life means outgrowing parts of yourself. Versions that once kept you safe but now keep you small. And that's the hardest part, because no one teaches you how to let go of who you used to be. You've been the reliable one, the strong one, the together one. But now, you're craving something real, something honest, a life that feels like you, not the version you performed for everyone else. It's okay to take off the mask. You're allowed to rewrite who you are, even if it confuses the people who knew the old you. Because evolution isn't betrayal. It's truth finding its way home. When you start to grow beyond the life you built, guilt shows up quietly but powerfully. You start to wonder, who am I to want more when I already have so much? You look around and think about the people who would give anything to have what you've built. And yet, you can't shake this ache inside that something about your current life feels incomplete. That's the guilt of growth, the inner conflict between gratitude and longing, between staying grateful for what you have and being honest about what no longer fits your soul. You're not ungrateful, you're just evolving. And evolution will always feel like loss before it feels like freedom. Sometimes you'll lose interest in things you used to love. Sometimes you'll outgrow people who don't understand your new pace. Sometimes you'll have to disappoint others just to stay true to yourself. That's not selfish. That's sacred. Because the moment you stop betraying yourself to keep others comfortable, you begin to live your truth, not the one the world expects from you. So don't feel guilty for changing. Feel proud for having the courage to honor the quiet voice within, the one whispering that you're meant for more. Starting over is terrifying, not because you're weak, but because you remember how hard it was to build the first time. You built stability, identity, community. You fought for peace, for control. And now, life asks you to walk into the unknown again, to trade certainty for possibility. But here's the truth no one tells you. Starting over doesn't erase what you've built. It refines it. You're not beginning from zero. You're beginning from experience. The lessons, the scars, the resilience, they all come with you. You've already proven that you can build. Now you're just building something that actually fits. Yes, it's scary. But the real danger isn't starting again. It's staying where you no longer belong. You're not losing your life. You're upgrading it. You're not walking away. You're walking toward who you're becoming. And when you finally take that first step, you'll realize the fear was never about the unknown. It was about leaving behind the version of you that needed certainty to feel safe. But safety isn't the same as peace. Peace is found in alignment. And alignment often begins with a brave, shaky, terrifying, new beginning. When you start changing, people notice. Some will cheer for you, some will question you, and others will quietly drift away. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your evolution reminds them of the parts of themselves still asleep. Growth disrupts comfort, yours and theirs. The moment you stop playing small, you stop fitting into the spaces that once defined you. You'll hear things like, "You've changed," "You're different now," and you'll want to explain yourself, to prove that you're still the same, but you're not. And that's okay. You're not supposed to stay the same. You're supposed to grow, evolve, rise, and not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next chapter. Some people belong in your story, but not in your future. So bless them, release them, and keep walking. Because holding on to those who can't see your new light only dims it. The ones who truly love you will understand, even if it takes them time. And the rest, they were never meant to see your next level anyway. Let your growth offend those who choose to stay stuck, because your transformation isn't a threat. It's proof that change is possible. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that what's meant for you won't require you to shrink to keep it. We hold on to people, habits, and dreams long past their expiration, not because they're good for us, but because they once were. You remember the comfort, the excitement, the safety, and letting go feels like dishonoring those memories. But memories are meant to be carried, not relived. Every time you let go of something that no longer serves your soul, you make space for what does. That's how growth works. It's not always about adding more. It's about releasing what's heavy. You can't fly if you're clinging to the ground, and you can't discover your next chapter if your hands are still full of the last one. So let go, not because it's easy, but because holding on is quietly destroying your spirit. What's ahead is not a punishment for leaving, it's a reward for trusting. After letting go comes the rebuilding. This time, though, you're not building from fear, you're building from truth. You're not chasing validation or safety anymore. You're choosing alignment. You're building slowly, intentionally, with heart. Every choice now stems from awareness, not from who you think you should be, but from who you actually are. This is the season where peace matters more than approval, where boundaries replace guilt, where authenticity replaces performance. You'll notice your energy shifts. You attract people who match your frequency. You stop begging for love because now you give it to yourself first, and that changes everything. Rebuilding isn't about creating a perfect life. It's about creating a life that feels like home, one where your mind, heart, and soul finally move in the same direction. This is your rebirth, and it's quieter than you imagined, but more powerful than you could ever describe. There's a moment after the storm, after the letting go, where you look around and realize you've changed, not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. You start laughing again, for no reason. You breathe easier. You stop forcing things to happen. You trust. That's what becoming feels like. It's not fireworks, it's peace. You stop chasing versions of yourself that were built from fear, and you start embracing the one that grew from truth. The world may not notice your transformation, but you will. In how you speak, in how you choose, in how you no longer settle for half alive living. Becoming is messy, it's raw, it's sacred, and it's the most beautiful proof that growth was never about changing who you are. It was about coming home to yourself. One day, you'll wake up and realize the life you once dreamed of losing no longer fits the person you've become. And that's okay, because now your peace is louder than your fear. Your joy feels simple. Your presence feels real. You no longer need to prove, perform, or please. You're not chasing. You're creating. You're not surviving. You're living. You'll look back at the person who first felt lost and whisper, "Thank you for not giving up." Because outgrowing your life wasn't the end. It was the doorway to purpose, to alignment, to becoming everything you were always meant to be. And as you stand in your new life, the one that finally fits, you'll understand. You were never lost. You were just evolving.